Hello and welcome to the top 20 projections that CBS got all wrong. Don't you want to be better with your fantasy team? Last year, I did a video, had the top 14, and hit most of them out of the park. So many answers that I have for you on the projections that you're going to see. Some are high, some are low, some are jacked up. You're going to find it out. You're going to find it out right now. Let's dig in. Into this, there's not going to be a ton of sabermetrics here. I have reasons for all of my projections of why those projections are wrong, but it's not going to be a lot of sabermetrics. It's not going to be, you know, a lot of wins against replacement and BABIP and OPB and KFC. No, we don't have any of that. Maybe a little, but not a lot, okay? And when you see that graphic, you see that person, you're going to just look at the stat that's on the screen. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about everything on their entire line that you're going to see CBS have. I'm talking about just certain aspects on that player. Let's go. Number 20 right now. Number 20, Howie Kendrick. Okay, Howie Kendrick has not hit 296 since 2008. He's now switching leagues, has to learn new pitchers. Now, please explain to me why he is going to hit 296. Does it make sense to you? Doesn't make sense to me. And that's why Howie Kendrick will not hit 296 this year. It's going to be lower than that. Number 19, Clayton Kershaw. Number 19. Yeah, Clayton Kershaw. Okay, people don't understand how great Clayton Kershaw is. He's the best pitcher of all time. Okay, and I can't stand the Dodgers, but he's really, statistically, the best pitcher of all time. There's nothing to even, he's that good. Across the line in everything, he's better than everybody else. And, you know, I know he was hurt for the month last year. I don't care. He still won 20-some games. He's only projected to win 21. He's a good bet for 24, 25. He's that good. Clayton Kershaw, more wins than 21 this year. Number 18, Robinson Cano. Robbie Cano, don't you know that 18 home runs is way too low? There's a big reason for that. His name is Nelson Cruz. You insert him into that lineup becomes so much better all around. Kyle Seager continues to get better each year he plays. That's a good lineup. Robbie Cano will have to be pitched more often too than he has been in the past. Therefore, I expect him to hit more home runs. I'm going 21 or 22 for Robbie Cano. Maybe even more than that. Number 17, Nolan Arenado. Nolan Arenado. Listen, I guess they think he's going to get these 580 at-bats that CBS has projected for him, and that's why these numbers are so high. I'm not sure if he's going to get all those at-bats. He's sort of had like one DL stint a year every way through. I mean, if he got those at-bats, perhaps the 26 and 85 would be doable, but the 305, I don't know, he hit 287 last year. Why do we think he's going to jump so much? Maybe it's because he's only 24. They think he's going to keep getting better, and it is a possibility. That's why he's low on my list. But no, I think that all three of those numbers for Arenado will be a tick lower. Number 16, Chris Carter. Chris Carter's 40 home runs. That's too many. If your career high is 37 home runs and you're now in your 5th big league year, why would you hit 40 now? I don't quite understand. I'd argue, because I did watch a lot of Chris Carter last year, that he became a lot better hitter in the second half of last year. And yes, he did have the home runs, but I think there might have been too many home runs because he cut down on the strikeouts. I don't think I buy as quite as many. I think instead of being the 227 hitter that he's been, he'll probably be more of a 240 hitter, which in turn means he's going to be down to probably like 34, 35 home runs. Still a lot of home runs, but not 40 for Chris Carter. Number 15, Miguel Cabrera. Cabrera is someone I had on my list last year as taking a downturn. Of course, I was right, but that's not what we're talking about. 44 home runs down to 25 last year. Okay, that's the difference between the 2013 total and the 2014 total. So, why would his RBIs go up when he had 109 last year to 122 this year and 104 runs? And I know he's averaged 100 runs each of the last 7 or 8 years, but you have to imagine that, especially in and around that lineup, Victor should come down a little bit. I mean, he's already going into the season hurt, and he had a career year last year. So you look at all those components of the lineup, and Miguel being another year older, 104 runs, 122 RBIs seem pretty too high to me. Yes.
Number 14, Adrian Gonzalez.
Adrian Gonzalez hitting 297. The only way this happens is if Mattingly decides to sit him against lefties. The 204 batting average against lefties will bring that average too far down to be at 297. I think all of his other perimeter numbers should be good, but 297, that projection, not good. He's got to be lower than that because he's still an everyday first baseman. Like I said, the only way this happens is if Mattingly sits him against all lefties, and I don't know if they're going to have Scott Van Slyke play first base, or I don't know, maybe they'll please Ethier and put him there. I don't know if these things can happen, but that's the only way that Gonzalez hits 297 this year.
Number 13, Troy Tulowitzki.
Okay, 312, 28, 93 with numbers that really Tulowitzki should be able to hit in his sleep. The problem is he's coming off a hip surgery. Those things are not good. It's going to take him a while to get back to normal, and when he does, assuming he can play the whole season, which is, oh my gosh, that's another situation all in itself, as we all know he has trouble staying on the field. But I don't even think he's going to be his normal self until the All-Star break. So I think all of those numbers, too high, lower for too low this year.
Number 12, Manny Machado.
Okay, here are the projections that CBS has for Manny Machado. 290, 22, and 68. If he had 590 at-bats, as much as I hate the Orioles, I hate to admit, his numbers would be better than that. I'm okay with the 290 average. He hit 30 home runs and he'd have 85 RBIs. So something's wrong with that entire picture. So what I'm going to say is that he's not going to hit the 590 at-bats because, come on, he's had 2 busted up knees and he's like, what, 18? I know he's older than 18. It was a joke. But Manny Machado does not get to that 590 at-bats. Therefore, the rest of his stats aren't going to be as good because he's not going to stay healthy.
Number 11, Rusney Castillo.
Okay, Rusney Castillo will not get 500 at-bats because there's too much going on in the Red Sox lineup. But on the off chance he got 500 at-bats, he would easily get 280, 15, 59. I'm okay with those numbers. I still, even if he got the 500 at-bats, still hate the 71 runs and the 26 steals because he's batting low in the order. He's too low in the order to get those kind of numbers, especially the steals. Maybe the runs if the Red Sox lineup goes nuts, but the steals, you just don't get that low in the order. So there's too much going on there. So basically the biggest prediction of the projection, if you will, he will not get those steals because he's too low in the order, and he won't get 500 at-bats because there's too many other Red Sox and not enough at-bats.
Number 10, Devin Mesoraco.
Okay, 30 and 85 are too high for Mesoraco. The reason is that CBS and other outlet organizations think that he's really going to catch 145 games because Brian Price, the coach, says so. No. Just because, actually, I'm not even going to say no. Maybe he will catch 145 games, but that's something brand new for him. So I don't see that his body can actually handle that, especially in the first year of catching that much, because I think his career high was 107 before that. So that's too many games. His body will wear down. I don't like those numbers. He's going to be below that. More of a 25 and probably 70-ish RBI guy, Mesoraco.
Number 9, Josh Harrison.
Ah, yes, Harrison, the newfound prodigy of the Pittsburgh Pirates. 2 things. Number 1, when you become an all-star out of nowhere, people start paying attention to you. And when that happens, scouting reports are read more fluently, and people care, pitchers care, and things change. You don't think so? Look it up. There's a lot of people that will have that breakout year and they never get back to the glory of that breakout year. Now, another thing. They're projecting him to have 520 at-bats. I don't see how he gets that at-bats because there's going to be a big intertwine of at-bats that Kong, I don't know how you say his name, the Korean shortstop. And I'm not saying he's only going to play shortstop. He's going to play a little bit of third. He's going to play a little bit of second base. But he needs some at-bats there, too. The Pirates are paying him money. He's going to get the at-bats. This isn't Alex Guerrero with the Dodgers who have money to blow. No, this is the Pirates. So, with that said, Harrison's numbers are all going to be a little bit down. Don't forget, he was a 250, actually a little bit under a 250 career hitter going into last year. Okay? So, if you really think that 288 is set in stone, no. So, yeah, 288, 79, 20 steals, too high. All a little bit lower.
Number 8, Michael Kadire.
Michael Kadire! If you think that he's going to get 520 at-bats, you are nuts. He has to play the outfield, I think. Maybe they're going to have him play a little bit of first base there, too, I guess. But, come on. He can't stay healthy enough to do that. And it's a shame because he's great when he's healthy. He's great when he's healthy. I would love to see the 31 doubles. The 20 home runs, those numbers would be great if he actually had 500 and some at-bats as a Met. But he won't stay healthy enough to do that, so no, not going to happen.
Number 7, Javier Baez.
Okay, you see the Cubs hat, you see the Cubs jersey. Yeah, you're probably thinking, oh yeah, of course he thinks Javier Baez is going to hit more than 26 home runs. If he gets 630 at-bats, which is a crazy number of at-bats, absolutely he will hit 30 home runs at least. That said, he might hit like 195 doing it, but he will have those power numbers and he will hit more than 26 home runs. Remember, it's just the home run category. I'm not saying he's an elite fantasy performer, but he will hit 30 home runs if he gets 630 at-bats. And as young as he is, I don't see why not, because I think it could definitely happen. So yeah, I project somewhere between 30 and 35 bombs for Baez.
Number 6, Justin Verlander.
There is actually a little difference in this list because from here on down, these are egregious. These are awful. Okay, Verlander, okay. Verlander, 15 wins, 180 strikeouts. No. This guy gave up 223 hits last year. Hits! You know how many hits that is? Oh my gosh, that's a terrible number. If his name wasn't Verlander, he wouldn't have been allowed to be out on that mound to give up those many hits. And I know he had a core muscle injury, and that's why I didn't get to prepare for the season. I don't want to hear it. Your fastball was not as fast as it used to be, and a lot of pitchers struggle when their velocity drops off the face of the earth. Okay, it didn't drop off the face of the earth, but still, there's a big difference between 94 and 99, and that was a difference that Verlander has suffered. So, 15 wins, not going to happen. 180 strikeouts, not going to happen. And also, the 3.64 ERA? Really, the 3.64 ERA? He had a 4.54 ERA last year. No. Verlander stats all wrong.
Number 5, Zach Britton.
Yes, I am a self-anointed Oriole hater. But, okay, all you have to do is look at all the closers and look at their innings and their strikeouts. And there's only one quote-unquote pretty good or maybe even very good or even close to elite closer that had 76 and a third innings and only 62 strikeouts. He does not have swing and miss stuff, Zach Britton. No, you do not. And when you have that much contact with the bats, that 193 ERA, that's too low too. However, I did find out an interesting stat while studying him. He is a career 5-for-8 hitter with a home run. So if the Orioles need some pop off the bench, put in Zach Britton. He can hit.
Number 4, Rick Porcello.
Okay, Rick Porcello had a 3.43 ERA last year. That is good. That's really good. That's his best year that he's had. He's only had one other year in his pro career that he had an ERA under 4, and it was 3.96. Now, you're going to tell me he's going to go to Boston and have a 3.69 ERA. And again, last year was much better than any other year he had. I know you're probably saying, well, he's kind of at his career peak and blah, 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 blah. I don't care. He's pitching in Boston, not Detroit. Huge differential, okay? 1.25 whip, that's too low too. Expect him to have a 4 ERA and a 1.30 whip because half of his games or half of his starts will be in Fenway.
Number 3, Gene Segura.
Segura. Everybody was so high on Gene Segura last year because of his 2013 breakout season of 294. And then last year he hit 246, which is awful. And I don't understand why you think CBS that he's going to hit 289? 289? Why? Why are you getting that? That baffles my mind. You realize he had an on-base percentage last year of 285. Literally, I'm holding back the vomit in my throat with a 285 on-base percentage. Awful, awful, awful. No, this one's really, really wrong. Gene Segura not coming anywhere close to 289. I don't care if he's changing his batting stance. I'm hearing that. I don't care. You were a fluke your big year, okay? Sorry, no.
Number 2, Jason Hayward.
Hey, this one's hard for me to swallow because I hate it. Cubs hat, Cubs jersey. But Hayward's numbers, career year this year, he's going to be in a better lineup, in a better place. He's going to have better coaches because St. Louis is way better coached than freaking Atlanta. And I just look for everything across the board to be better. I think he's probably like a 280 to 285 hitter, 20 to 25 home runs, 75 to 80 RBIs. Definitely out of Hayward. This is probably the beginning of greatness for Hayward. I'm not saying he's going to be on the low level great. I'm not saying MVP great, but Hayward's got the ability, and now he's going to be in the right environment to prove so.
Number 1, David Ortiz.
This is the worst projection that I have seen in the last 2 years while making these videos. David Ortiz, who is 4 years older than me, and I am no spring chicken. Let's be honest here, okay? The dude was born in 75. 75. Disco music didn't even hit yet when this guy was born, okay? And I'm not. Yes, those the weird little 2008 and 2009 where his stats really weren't that great. Maybe Ortiz was done, and then boom shakalaka, the resurgence of Ortiz. I'm not saying anything about performance enhancing anything, but what I can tell you is eventually, I don't care what you're on, you're not going to be able to hit anymore. And last year, he still had the numbers. He still hit 263 with the 35 bombs and the 104 ribbies. Of course, that's a great year. But if you think he's going to hit 283, 31 and 94, another year closer to using a cane to walk to first base, no. This is where I draw the line. David Ortiz finally hits that freaking wall they should have hit 5 years ago. There, that's my list. Hope you like it. Use it, because you will be better. I don't know if you'll be great, but you'll be better. That's all. Thank you. Bye-bye. I still hate the Orioles.